the Locust God versus Nekusar the Mindrazer. And not a terrible hand, so you can try and keep on this one. Hope that we actually get a game here. You won't believe the number of times people scoop really early to the Locust God. I'm talking turn 0 in some cases. Yeah, we'll just go for a tapped Steam Vents off of this. And then we can look at Thought Vessel next turn. Or maybe even holding up Mana Leak or Remand, depending on what our opponent does now. They ramp like crazy, we'll definitely be holding those up. Ooh, Kami's going to get the card draw going in the early game, which is really going to help us out with the Locust God. So I think the plan has to be to try and ramp up to the Locust God as soon as possible. Nekusar, of course, does want us to draw cards, but they want to hurt us for doing so. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card, and whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar deals 1 damage to that player. We do play Nekusar on the channel, played a few games with Nekusar, so if you're interested in that, you can go and check out the playlist. Our Locust God deck is, well, it's pretty typical, to be honest. It's 6 mana for a 4/4 with flying. You can loot for 4, and whenever you... Let's just make sure we do this right. Whenever you draw a card, you get a flying insect with haste, a 1/1. So that's why the extra card draw with Nekusar is definitely going to help us, I think. Nekusar forces us to draw, but Coastal Piracy, you may draw a card. I don't think we need that in this deck, to be honest, or against this deck. I think I'd rather just hold up the counter magic. We have an unlimited hand size thanks to the Thought Vessel now, so... And Nekusar fixing their mana with the Rocky Tar Pit. This Vandal Blast might come in handy this game because, well, in my deck anyway, and I assume in Grixis in general, they want to be ramping with things like mana rocks, because they don't actually have any means of getting lands out of their library, apart from drawing them, of course. I cut this from my deck, so I'm not sure. If a player... 4 more cards in hand, yeah, it's just more damage, so I think we can go for a Remand on that. Fevered Visions didn't do quite enough in my deck, I didn't think, so like I say, I cut it from my build. I think I did. Maybe it is in there, I can't remember. Chaos Warp and Arcane Denial, that is nice. We could Tech Edge the Backwater, but I don't think I want to do that. So we just go... Yeah, we just pass the turn at that. We can hold up Chaos Warp and Mana Leak and Arcane Denial. Probably should have gone for Trinket Mage. Might do that next turn and just go for Sol Ring. Fevered Visions again. Really trying to stick that. Hopefully our opponent doesn't scoop to that getting countered. I find that people don't often scoop to Arcane Denial because they like drawing the extra cards. I'm going to take another 2 from the Kami. Okay, and we get to draw from Kami as well. Luckily we're not being damaged yet for any of this. Nekusar's gotten off to a pretty slow start so far. And get down another mountain. And we'll go after perhaps what we should have done last turn. Go for Trinket Mage into Sol Ring. And then we can get down get down Ancestral Vision, I think. That might bite us, depending on what goes on in the next few turns, but I'm going to counter Nekusar if they try and land it. Or anything that pains us, really. Nekusar has 9 cards in hand, a full grip, and it looks like this is going to be... Ooh, Consecrated Sphinx is a big no-no. Definitely not. We are out of counter magic now, so... Looks like we're getting into the Locust God. And going from there. Just have to hope our opponent doesn't have any removal for it, because we don't have any means of protecting it. Might have to go... Can we go into Windfall? I think I'm going to play the Tech Edge, actually, just in case we end up wheeling everything. And yeah, I think we might actually go for the Windfall here. Windfall has everyone discard their hand and draw cards equal to the greatest number of cards discarded that way. That will be 8. And our opponent's going to do a hell of a lot with Waste Not here. Waste Not's a really cool card, and it was designed by someone who won a competition. I forget the ins and outs of that story. But it's a kind of a modal card. It's a 2-mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a creature, get a black zombie. Whenever they discard a land, get 2 black mana. And whenever they discard a non-creature, draw a card. So it can do a hell of a lot of work with wheel effects. Our opponent just gets a boatload of mana. See what they discarded. They had a puzzle box, glad we got rid of that, and Time Twister, Reforge the Soul. Yeah, they had some wheels, and yeah, not a whole lot else. They didn't have any pains in hand, so I'm thinking they're likely to have drawn into those now. See if they got into any spot removal to use that 6 mana on. Well, if they did, they don't want to use it. So we are going to hit them for 8 in the air. And if we make it to next turn, it looks like we can protect our commander with Memory Lapse and Disallow. So probably just go down for Perforos and keep swinging in with our army, to be honest. Don't think we need to rush into getting Time Reversal down. Oh, Maegrim, that's some punishment. So every time our opponent might wheel us now. Every time we discard a card now, we're going to be dealt 2 damage. And that looks like, yeah, their own Windfall. So exactly the same thing's going to happen again. And, oh, trigger City, look at that. So we are dealt 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 damage. So another wheel like that, and yeah, we are done for, but we are going to get a load more triggers on our Locust God now. We're getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I don't know how many that was. Oh, 9 it was, by the looks of it. And then our opponent's getting a boatload of mana as well, so they might... How much do we have on board now? We've got 7... Oh no, that's 8, 9, 10, so that's 19 in the air, which won't quite do it. But if we can draw a couple of cards... Oh, well, this Liege will give them a big enough buff to swing through. So it's now or never for our opponent. They might have another wheel in hand that they can use thanks to the Waste Not. They might have us. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, we had no free counter magic in hand. Our... what is it? Was it this game I had Force of Will? I've played a few games now and people keep quitting early, so I can't remember if it was this game or not. But we do have Pact of Negation and Force of Will in the hand, or in the deck even, so that would have saved us there, potentially. There is a black wheel as well that they might have gotten into after that. But yeah, good game to our opponent. Megrim doing it single-handedly there. Usually you want to get into lots of different pain effects with Nekusar. There are lots of enchantments and the odd creature that do a similar thing to Nekusar, but Megrim doing it single-handedly there. And had they have left us alone until next turn, we would have been able to buff our insects up to 3/3s in the air and then swing in for lethal. So good job that they pulled the trigger when they did, although I think what they used is instant speed. So the reason they did it on their turn is because they had to use the mana from the Waste Knot. So yeah, doing some work for them, that Waste Knot, getting into lots of mana so that they could actually... Oh, and they only had access to 1 red as well. So drawing into the Darksteel Ingot was really good as well. And they had so much mana from the Waste Knot that they could actually play the Ingot, get an additional red mana, and then go for Fateful Showdown before they lost their Waste Knot mana. So yeah, really good play to our opponent, and hope you enjoyed it. The Locust God versus Nekusar. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.